MLS announced a series of initiatives today to combat racism and advocate for social justice and increase representation in the sport with a number of different measures you can see here as we welcome Shaka Hislop to the show. Shaka, your overall thoughts on this?
I think it's a very good step by MLS. I think they've addressed a lot of the issues. Just speaking from my own first-hand experience in talking to a number of ex-players, black ex-players who were asked about their reluctance to get into football management. And a lot of those players that I associate with and I speak with, would cite that the fact that they weren't able to get interviews for top coaching jobs, so didn't see the reason to go through the process of getting all those badges up to UEFA Pro license, in an effort that you won't even get a foot in the door with. I think MLS does that, addresses some of those frustrations, and then goes a step further. Earlier today, I was reading an interview by Eddie Newton, formerly of Chelsea, now managing Trabzonspor in Turkey, and he was saying that until there are changes at boardroom levels, you won't see black players being given a fair shot at the top managers' jobs. And I think what MLS are doing here are laying the groundwork to see that change that everybody is calling for. That systemic change, that systemic need for diversity at every single level. Youth coaching, head coaching, and in particular at administrative and boardroom levels. That's where long-term significant change is going to come from, and I think MLS are trying to shape the framework in moving the game towards that and towards real equality and social justice.
And of course, Shaka, it looks very positive on paper. It's about now putting it into practice.
Yes, absolutely. And that always is the difficulty with it. But I think in an effort to get a proper product in practice, because right now we are all these issues, all these initiatives that are being proposed, we're not quite sure how it's going to work next year, 5 years' time, the kind of effect it's going to have in 20 years' time. But I think what you have is a significant attempt at addressing the issues. And then if need be, you can readdress in a year and make changes and see what it looks like in 5 years. And hopefully we have the social change, the social impact that this moment has been calling for in that 20 years' time. It's no good anymore to sit around and talk about what needs to be done hypothetically. We have to start taking these steps. We have to start implementing these actions. And if there are mistakes that are in them, if there are things that need to be changed, then you change them when you recognize that. But we cannot simply continue to sit on the sidelines, talk about these things hypothetically, in the hope that one day, on the end of all this hypothetical discussion, we come up with something that works. We won't know if it works until we put it into action. And that's what MLS are doing. And I have to say, hats off to them for taking this step, because it is significant. The moment calls for it. And I applaud MLS for taking this step when it seems that many may be still a little bit reluctant to. Credit to them for leading the way, not just in US sports, but in world football.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.